Good morning, Alex and friends. I'm Grace. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024, and you're listening to Alex's News. The weather in Riverside today will reach a pleasant high of 72.4 degrees, with a low of 52.6, making it a comfortable December day. Coming up, we'll examine the complex situation along Israel's northern border, where tensions continue to mount, even as a ceasefire remains in effect. We'll also investigate why package thieves are still succeeding in their heists, despite the increasing presence of home security cameras. Plus, we'll break down the significant ruling from Delaware, where a judge has invalidated Elon Musk's massive Tesla compensation package worth $56 billion. Stay with us for these stories and more on Alex's News. We begin with breaking developments along the Israeli-Lebanese border, where tensions have escalated dramatically. Joining us now with the details is our foreign affairs correspondent, Ethan Parker. Ethan, what can you tell us about these latest strikes?
Grace, according to multiple international news agencies, Israel has just conducted its most significant aerial assault in Lebanon since the recent ceasefire agreement was put in place. The strikes have resulted in at least 11 deaths, marking a serious escalation in the region.
Can you break down where exactly these strikes occurred and the casualties involved?
Yes, according to Reuters reporting, the strikes targeted several areas. In the villages of Haris and Talusa, 9 people were killed and 4 others wounded. Additionally, there was a drone strike that killed 1 person on a motorcycle, and another strike resulted in the death of a Lebanese security services corporal.
This comes after a ceasefire agreement was reached. Can you explain the terms of that agreement and when it was implemented?
The ceasefire, which was brokered by the United States and France, went into effect in late November. Under its terms, Hezbollah was required to withdraw its fighters north of the Litani River. That's about 30 kilometers from the Israeli-Lebanese border. Israel, in turn, was supposed to withdraw its forces to its side of the border. A 5-country monitoring panel was established to oversee this implementation.
What triggered these latest strikes?
According to Israeli military sources, these strikes were in response to Hezbollah firing projectiles towards Mount Dov, which is a disputed territory also known as Sheba Farms. It's worth noting that this area sits at a complex intersection of Lebanon, Syria, and Israel's borders. Hezbollah has claimed these launches were, in their words, a defensive and warning response to Israeli violations.
What's the official response been to these developments?
Well, Lebanon's parliament speaker Nabi Berri has accused Israel of violating the truce more than 50 times through various means, including airstrikes, home demolitions, and airspace violations. However, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby maintains that despite some violations, the ceasefire is largely holding.
Thank you for that comprehensive update, Ethan. We'll be sure to keep our viewers informed as this situation develops. For our second story this morning, we turn our attention to a growing concern this holiday season: package theft. Joining us to discuss this issue is our consumer affairs reporter, Chloe Martinez. Chloe, what are we seeing in terms of numbers?
Grace, the statistics are quite alarming. According to Safewise's latest reporting, more than 120 million packages were stolen across the United States in 2023, with most thefts involving deliveries from Amazon and the U.S. Postal Service. What's particularly concerning is that experts believe these numbers could be much higher.
Why would the actual numbers be higher than what's reported?
Well, according to law enforcement data, only about 15 to 17% of victims actually report these thefts to police. This suggests we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to package theft.
I understand some states are taking legislative action. What kind of penalties are we seeing?
Yes, several states have implemented strict measures. For instance, Florida just made package theft over $40 a third-degree felony this past October. In Texas, penalties vary based on the number of addresses targeted. New Jersey has made it a third-degree crime, carrying 3 to 5 years in prison and up to $15,000 in fines, while Kentucky treats it as a Class D felony, with up to 5 years imprisonment.
What about security measures? Are doorbell cameras helping?
That's interesting, Grace. While about 20% of U.S. households now use video doorbells, their effectiveness is questionable. According to recent studies, 22% of theft victims actually had doorbell cameras when the incidents occurred, and 38% of consumers doubt these cameras work as deterrents.
So what can people do to protect their deliveries?
Experts recommend several strategies. First, try to schedule deliveries when someone's home. Use secure package lockers or pickup centers, or opt for garage delivery if you're an Amazon Prime member. Installing comprehensive security systems with cameras and motion detector lights can help, and some people are using special porch pirate bags with locks. Community solutions like arranging for neighbor collection or participating in neighborhood watch programs can also be effective.
And if someone does become a victim of package theft?
The key is to act quickly. File a police report immediately, notify both the carrier and vendor, and if it's a postal package, contact the U.S. Postal Inspection Service at 877-876-2455. Most importantly, never confront thieves directly.
Thank you, Chloe, for that comprehensive report. This information will be particularly helpful as we're now just 22 days away from Christmas. Here are some other headlines. In France, Prime Minister Michel Barnier faces a no-confidence vote after using a rare constitutional mechanism to push through an austerity budget without parliamentary approval. The budget includes 40 billion euros in spending cuts and 20 billion euros in tax increases, sparking strong opposition from both far-right and leftist parties. Former President Trump's threats to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican goods has created tension between the two nations. While Canada emphasizes the differences between its border issues and Mexico's, Mexican President Sheinbaum has criticized Canada's stance as disrespectful, highlighting a growing rift between the trading partners. A concerning trend shows Native American students are experiencing higher rates of chronic absenteeism, particularly since the pandemic. In some states, more than half of Native American and Alaska Native students are chronically absent, with rates in Arizona jumping from 22% to 45% between 2019 and 2023. In an unexpected development, Afghanistan's luxury housing market is seeing significant growth, with prices rising by 40% over the past 3 years. High-end properties in Kabul, some listing for up to $800,000, are attracting buyers seeking homes with extensive amenities. Despite the country's broader economic challenges, 3 mountain climbers, 2 Americans and 1 Canadian, are missing on New Zealand's highest peak, Mount Cook. Search efforts have been suspended due to poor weather conditions after finding climbing equipment believed to belong to the missing climbers. And now for our third story of the morning. A Delaware judge has once again ruled against what was potentially the largest executive compensation package in corporate history. Joining us to discuss this development is our business correspondent, Ethan Parker. Ethan, bring us up to speed on this ruling.
Thanks, Grace. Delaware Chancellor Kathleen Street Jude McCormick has just reaffirmed her January decision that Tesla must revoke Elon Musk's 2018 compensation package, which had grown to a staggering potential value of $56 billion.
That's an enormous sum. What was the basis for this compensation package in the first place?
According to ABC News, the package was initially valued at $44.9 billion in 2018. It was designed as a 10-year plan with 12 separate tranches, each tied to specific performance goals. For example, the first milestone required Tesla to reach a market cap of $100 billion, with subsequent goals requiring $50 billion, increases up to $650 billion.
And what prompted this legal challenge?
As reported by the Associated Press, a Tesla stockholder filed a lawsuit claiming that Musk had essentially engineered the package through sham negotiations with directors who weren't truly independent. What's particularly interesting is that even though Tesla shareholders voted to ratify the package again in June of this year, Judge McCormick ruled that this second vote couldn't fix the original flawed process.
What about the legal fees in this case? I understand there was some controversy there as well.
Yes, that's right, Grace. The plaintiff's attorneys made what many considered an audacious request for $5.6 billion in Tesla stock. However, Judge McCormick awarded them $345 million instead. While this is still a substantial sum, it's worth noting it's less than half of the record $688 million awarded in the 2008 Enron litigation.
How has Tesla performed during this period?
The company has seen remarkable growth. According to financial reports, Tesla's revenue jumped from $21.461 billion in 2018 to $97.15 billion in the 12 months ending September 2024. The company's market value has also soared to approximately $1.1 trillion by late 2024.
And what has been Musk's response to all of this?
On his social media platform X, Musk has publicly expressed his disagreement with the ruling, arguing that shareholders, not judges, should have the final say in company decisions. This case has really brought to the forefront important questions about corporate governance and executive compensation.
Thank you for that comprehensive update, Ethan. That's all we have for now. Today's episode was made by Alexander King with Claude Sonnet 3.5, the Perplexity API, and the Google Cloud Text-to-Speech API. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.